Well, Brent, they are directly on the Farmington River, and while they've had their fair share of flooding in the past, the general manager says nothing compares to this. While 9 holes are open for guests and members, they are working as hard as possible to make sure all 18 are ready for Labor Day weekend.
Virtually all this was underwater except for part of that green.
Just a few days ago, the grass Tower Ridge's director of golf is now driving over was unrecognizable.
All this was flooded. It usually is not a huge lake like this.
Heavy rains from Tropical Storm Irene caused the Farmington River to flood, leaving this golf course in Simsbury virtually underwater.
That tree there, see how high the water is? You know, you can see the brown mark on the tree. It's up at least 7 feet.
Just to show you the intensity of these floodwaters, down the road is a local farm, and some of their crops ended up here on the golf course, including this vine of pumpkins.
You could see watermelons and pumpkins floating by. It's not something you see every day. But a lot of the river silt is on our course, and timing's been awful with Labor Day weekend.
Tower Ridge was closed for 3 days as staff waited for the waters to recede. But today, 9 holes were open for guests, and despite the setback, Tower Ridge is working hard to make sure they're ready to open all 18 by this weekend.
Well, September and October are really strong months for golf in this area. So yes, there was damages, but the course will be in great shape for the fall.
Tower Ridge is far from the only course dealing with flooding issues. Take a look at these aerial photos of Tunx's Plantation Golf Course in Farmington after the storm. These were taken by Hartford Current photographer John Wokey. They were closed for 4 days, but incredibly, they've reopened 18 of their holes for a tournament today. They are working around the clock in hopes they will also be fully open by Labor Day. To see more pictures of Irene's damage, including aerial views of flooding across Connecticut, go to ctnow.com/flood. Jen Bernstein, Fox Connecticut.